Hello everybody, and welcome to the first video I've ever made, episode 0 of my Hardcore Ironman series, which I have unironically named Road to Rip. I'm starting with an episode 0 because I think there's a fair amount of information to cover before I actually get into the series. This episode will be a monologue, and in the background will be some sped up gameplay. For a short introduction, my hardcore Ironman is Galt and my main is John Galt. I'm not sure where the idea of a hardcore Ironman series came to me, but as long as I've been playing the account, my friends have asked for a progress series. I really started playing the account about 8 months ago, which was August of 2016, and I roughly have clips since then. But what this means is that for a long time, this series will be far behind where my actual account is. As for the series itself, I fully expect it to be cringy, with terrible jokes, but I am doing it for fun. Episode structure will be 10 to 15 minutes and release videos twice a week. As a warning, I've never really recorded or edited anything before this, so I welcome any feedback on recording, editing, episode structure, or release schedule. With all that out of the way, my goal for this episode is to explain 3 things, which are my motivation for the account, my goals, and what I've done before this series. My motivation for the account originally was just for the fun of playing in a different style and joining my friends who also made Ironman, though we started long after the initial release. I did set goals, but I've since passed some of them, and ultimately I decided I would need a long-term goal, and that long-term goal is to get as far as I can without dying. Some other things that I've come to appreciate while playing this are the absence of MTX, double XP weekends, and the various events that give you experience. There's a lot less distraction from the game while playing Ironman, and though some of those events are creeping into Ironman, for the most part, everything on an Ironman account is something they've earned themselves, and I really enjoy that aspect. My goals. My first 2 goals were simple. I wanted access to Prif and Untrimmed 99 Slayer. Prif, of course, for the high-level hub, and Untrimmed 99 Slayer because I enjoy it, and also because it was the last 99 on my main account prior to Invention. So it seems fitting to complement my last 99 on one account with the first 99 on my other. To sum up what my goals are now, it's get the best weapons and armor for each combat style through drops until I die. And I've made a sort of tiering system to try and track my progression so we can see where I was and where I've gotten to. If I make it far enough through this progression, then I will eventually max and comp the account. If I die, which will inevitably happen, I will continue as a normal Ironman and still try and get all of those goals. And for what I've done prior to the series beginning. As a free-to-play, I set the goal as doing most of the free-to-play quests. The ones I didn't do were the ones that were potentially dangerous. Along with that goal, I got the Pathfinder armor, which is pretty much the best armor you have for a little while. After that, I was using low-tier 2-handers for melee, spider wand, and orb for magic, and something crappy for ranged at the Trolls and Burthorpe, and I trained each to roughly 40. Sometime in there, I became members, and I did some introductory quests like Wolf Whistle, the Herblore quest, things like that. I did Slayer as one of my first goals so I could kill Killer Watts, which drop an air battle staff, and that is tier 30, which would have been my highest tier magic weapon at the time. After that, I did Scorpion Catcher because a reward from that quest is the ability to upgrade to a tier 40 Mystic air battle staff for 40k. Along this time, I was also doing Banshee contracts for money. I think that's the stereotypical way to make low-level money on an Ironman. And I was also looking for the cremation ability and an ectoplasm matter drop. It actually took a really long time to get cremation, long enough that I got a champion scroll, and I found that pretty unbelievable. To put it in context, it took me roughly 20 hours on my to get my first champion scroll on my main for a completionist requirement. After that, I camped Tsar to level my magic from 40 to 60, hoping for a staff drop and also some other obsidian items, which were alchables. I did get a staff drop. I decided when I got 60 magic, I'd go and get what I think was my biggest achievement at the time, a Guthix staff cape and unlocking the spec. If you know, this is in the Mage Arena, which is in the Deep Wilderness, and it was really nerve-wracking because I was a low combat level, but I ended up having a friend scout it out for me the entire time, and it went really smoothly. After that, I went and did Blue Dragons for 43 prayer, using cremation, of course, and I consistently did caches for Div XP because that's really, really good, and I trained Dungeoneering and lower level crafting, but I absolutely hated that. I can't stand DG craft. It's not fun. One other memorable moment for me was I had a friend invoking Water Fiend so I could get a raw shark drop for the Fremennik trials. The final thing I did before the series begins is camping Runespan for a while, thinking I'd get to 90 or 91 for the tier 75 staff and the double nature runes, but it made me hate Runespan, and I decided against finishing it. Well, that will conclude episode 0 of Road to Rip. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.